Yo, what's up, gang? We back for another video, and I'm gonna be doing something a little different today. So what I have here actually is a tier list of the 10th anniversary red zone fights. So this is gonna be from the Goku and Vegeta story red zone fights, and I'm just gonna be going over like which fights were the hardest. I mean, this could be solely my opinion, but this is also like based off of like some very damning evidence, very critical evidence. Now, these are all of the fights from the Goku and Vegeta story. I'm going to be going over the Vegeta story first, and I'm going to be going in increments of 3. And I'm also going to provide some footage as well off of every fight in this in these challenge events. So, like I said, we're going to start with the Vegeta story red zone. Now, a lot of these fights, they differ depending on when you actually did the fight and with what units you had at the time. And a lot of these fights were somewhat difficult before we even had the 10th anniversary units. Some of them were a little easier before we had them, and some were still hard before and after we had the 10th anniversary units. So I'm going to go over that in this tier list, and I think this is going to be pretty fun because I think all these fights were pretty challenging in their own rights. Some of them a little easier than others, but these are definitely some challenging red zones. So yeah, let's get into the video. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys are loving these tier lists because I have fun doing them, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of these too as the year goes on. So yeah, let's get into the video. All right, so first up is we have the Saiyan saga in the Vegeta story. Now, this Goku right here, I remember this is like one of the first 3 batches of red zone fights that we got for the Vegeta story, and he's not doing anything crazy. It's just the units we had at the time. These guys dropped before the 10th anniversary units, so this is like part of the countdown. Before we even had any 10th anniversary units, bro. This is probably the what's the word I'm looking for? This is like the foreshadowing of like what was actually to come like during the anniversary. Because if you look at these HP pools, bro, this is like the highest HP pools we had at the time, like 175 million, 245 million HP. Like that shit's brutal. And the units we had at the time, like the hardest fight before these was the Goku and Frieza, and that fight too can be a little challenging, but there's ways around it. This fight right here is like, it went on for so long, was that at some point, like if you weren't careful, you were gonna get sniped. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like this Goku, the base form Goku, he wasn't too crazy, but if you didn't play your cards right, or you just so happened to get caught in a sticky situation, he could snipe you, and he would one shot you. It's happened. Some units could survive, some units couldn't, but he was pretty easy to get around. It was this Kaioken Goku right here, bro. This guy was a freaking monster, because I remember we didn't have any 10th anniversary units at the time, so a lot of our units weren't doing as much damage as we were used to, because remember, this Goku has a high HP pool, 245 million HP. Like this is the start of the long fights again, which I'm actually glad they brought in. So this Goku, he would seal you, and then once you got him below a certain threshold, the percentage at which he would super attack would increase, and he was doing 3.3 million, and he crit when he hit that, so it made it hit like twice as hard. And I remember this Goku, like I got sniped a couple of times from this guy. So I'm gonna do this, get all those juicy orbs for Piccolo. All right, boom. I think this is a good play right here, bro. How did bro, are you kidding me? So now he wants a super attack. How did I know, bro? And be still, even through his what? Oh, and he stunned him. Oh, it's so ass, dog. It's just, you know, some units, they couldn't handle it. And I mean, which is fair. I mean, you couldn't stun this guy, you couldn't debuff him at all. It was just hope you don't get sniped by the super, because if you did, it was game over at that point. it was either you're either near death or you got sent back to the home screen. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But in terms of difficulty, let's go back here. I would say at the time, this was before we had 10th anniversary units. I would say he wasn't power creep, but I would say he was very hard. I will say that, because him critting along with that 3.3 million super attack and the high HP pool is like, you know, at some point if you did I can't speak. If you didn't finish him off fast enough, and none of the units we had now could do the absurd amounts of damage that we're doing now, at some point you would get caught. It was the inevitable. Even if you got very, very lucky, at some point you would get caught and he would snipe you with that super. So this Goku, he was a pretty fun fight, and a very he was a precursor to the events we have now. So that's why I have him like A tier. Like he was a pretty hard fight for the time, but now we have units that are capable of like destroying this guy. All right, so next we have the Planet Namek saga. Now, okay, so the thing about this fight was, this is the start of like how long the fights could really get, because like I said, this is pre 10th anniversary units right here. Getting through all these guys, you would at least be hitting like turn 9, turn 10, turn 11 at most. And it wasn't until you hit this Ginyu right here. I mean, Zarbon, he could catch you slipping if you weren't being careful. He could catch you slipping. It wasn't until you got to this Ginyu Goku right here. This guy was nuts, bro. You can't seal him. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't stun him. Yeah, you can't seal him either. You can't debuff him. He stuns you 100% of the time, and you better hope he doesn't super in slot 1, because if you do, like, it's lights out. He gained attack +5 and defense +5 with each turn passed up to 50%. Now, attach this onto a 2.8 million damage super attack, and you're getting stunned. Bro, like I said, if he supered you in slot 1 and you didn't dodge, like it was finito. It was over. All right, let's see. This is type disadvantage. Active skill popped. How much damage is it gonna do? Damn. Vegeta still took that much? Frick. Oh, and he stunned him. Ah, that's annoying. And he was actually where the higher HP pool started for this fight. So it would take you a couple of turns. Like, you'd probably hit, if you weren't lucky, you'd probably get close to like this 50%. So the chances of you getting completely obliterated by this guy were pretty high. And he was probably, I'd say, the gatekeeper to this guy, the Frieza. This Frieza itself, Frieza was very predictable, I would say. Because he wouldn't really super, or not even super, he wouldn't really attack a lot in the first slot. So you could kind of like play around that. But he did, for some reason, he did like hecka like attacks in the second and third slot. More times than often, he would super in the second slot, from what I would remember. Oh my gosh. Well, now I'm curious. I want to see what that threshold is looking like. Is it over 10 million? Okay, triple super. Nice. Love to see it. Dang, this Frieza's got a damage threshold? Bro, none of those were crits. Oh, fuck. Dude, we barely survived that. Even then, like most units, even if you got your super attack, you'd still take some damage. And he was another boss that like had like a damage threshold, which wasn't as high as Goku and Frieza's. I think his damage threshold was like, this Frieza, I think his damage was like anything over like 5. Hold on. It might have been anything over like 500k or like 5 million, something like that. I don't know. but he did have a damage threshold. I'd say Frieza wasn't as hard as this guy because his attack was stacking and his defense. So that means if you didn't finish him off fast enough, you'd have a better chance of getting sniped by him and you get stunned. Like, this fight was actually pretty difficult, I will say that. Kui, Dodoria, these guys were complete fodder. Kui could be stunned, sealed. So this is I'd say the real gatekeeper here was Ginyu. So if I had to put this fight, the Planet Namek Saga, I would say this one was very hard as well. Actually, I'm gonna move down this Goku fight. It was hard. It wasn't very, very hard, but it was hard. Yeah, this Frieza, I mean, the Ginyu, he could still like catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? Like, put the wrong unit in the wrong slot and he will snipe you. No ifs, ands, or buts. All right, and now we're going to the Cell Saga. So these guys are kind of doing a lot right here. Dr. Gero and Android 19, they're not anything too crazy. Although they do have a lot going on right here. Nullifies, super attack ceilings. They can't be stunned, sealed, or debuffed. Oh, so this was one of those fights where they deal damage to you at the start of the turn. These guys weren't anything crazy. I mean, you could finish them off easy. Like, this phase right here isn't really a threat. Android 17 and 18, I remember one fight I had. I think it was like my first run ever of this fight. Android 17 did not attack at all. Like, he had like no attacks in the first turn. It was all like Android 18, which I don't know if that was due to like just pure RNG, or maybe I just got lucky, or maybe that's just the way it was supposed to be. But I did not see this guy at all in the first turn, which made it easy to snipe her out and then just have to deal with him. So maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. But dude, this second form Cell, he wasn't anything crazy either. I mean, the fact that he could be stunned made the fight dumb easy. As soon as you got to this guy, if you had a unit that could stun, this fight was dumb easy. As soon as you got to this guy, which is, I don't know why they made it to where he could get stunned. I mean, you know, his super attack would do some crazy damage after his third turn because he got the attack and defense plus 50. But even then, like the AoEs, by the time he got up to that point, he wasn't really doing much. I mean, it was still a fun fight, but I'd have to say this Cell, he was C tier, pretty easy with the gimmick. You know, like like I said, you stun him, like the fight's pretty much yours at that point. All right, so next up in the Vegeta story, Red Zone fights, I have the Majin Buu saga. So the thing about this fight, this one was pretty easy too. I mean, up to the point to where this is like after 10th anniversary, the units dropped, after the 10th anniversary units dropped. So, I mean, this fight just became like pretty much fodder. Anything after the 10th anniversary units dropped up to this point was pretty much fodder. This is when, you know, we still had the Tech Vegito had just dropped. Tech Vegito and then the other Carnival units. This fight was pretty easy. I mean, if you brought like a pretty decent team, even from like pre-10th anniversary, like you would still pretty much be able to like deal with this fight. Yeah, this Goku and Kui, they were pretty easy. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna include the footage in here, but there wasn't anything too notable about this fight that had me like, oh shit, bro. Like, okay, this is getting pretty tough. Sure, this Super Saiyan 2 Goku could like lock your characters, and that wasn't really like anything crazy, you know, just because like he was hitting like so weak. I mean, 1.4, like, come on, that's like, come on, dude, it's like this is hitting like a freaking pillow at this point. Wasn't anything crazy. Majin Buu, I think this might have been like an AoE right here, the Angry Explosion. This might have been an AoE from what I remember. You can stack 20% damage, or you can stack defense by 20% with each unarmed super attack received. This guy wasn't really too crazy. It's just that AoE that could really get you. Because when you have units that didn't super attack and that AoE hit, like, okay, that could actually like send you, that could put you down for a minute. The Kid Buu, this Kid Buu was easy. I mean, yeah, he could stun you. Sure, 70%. But like I said, by this point, we would have Vegeta out by now. So any attacks coming this guy's way, like he's easily going to counter and then just obliterate this Kid Buu. I'd probably say the other red zone Kid Buu was a lot harder than this one. Like from the Majin Buu saga red zone, that Kid Buu is harder because he could nullify all unarmed super attacks. Or armed super attacks, my bad. So yeah, this fight wasn't anything too crazy. If I had to rank this, definitely not fodder just because of the AoE. But I'd probably put it like C tier. Like this fight was pretty easy in my opinion. All right, and now we got God of Destruction Beerus. So this Beerus, I'd say the only real hard thing about him was that he locked you 100% of the time. So depending on what kind of units you brought, if they couldn't handle slot 1, then sure, okay, you could get wrecked. But the character switching, it didn't really affect me too much from what I remember. This Beerus was probably like the next step up in the high like HP pool. So this fight really it took a while to take him down. You know, and when you have like the wrong characters getting locked out of rotation, that could, you know, mess with your strategies. But the fact that he's not doing too much damage, like 1.4, a lot of units could still tank that. They take a little bit of damage, but the right units can tank that. Yeah, you can't dodge in this fight at all, so you have to brute force and take every hit from this guy. Like I said, it wasn't hard either. It's not like he was doing any like crazy stunning for like 3 turns. None of that. It's just the only thing hard about this guy was the high HP, and he locked. I don't know if this Beerus crits in his super attacks. I don't know. I forgot. I mean, when I look at the footage, I'll see again. But if he crits, then yeah, that would make him like a little bit more of a threat. But I don't remember if this Beerus in particular crit or not. So in this fight, I'd probably say this fight was pretty hard. Just with the locking and the high HP pool, like that Beerus fight was pretty difficult. All right, now the revival of Frieza saga. So the fights, they do get progressively harder, of course. This Whis wasn't anything crazy. He did have a lot of HP though, which this fight did take a while. I will say that. He had a lot of HP. He wasn't doing anything crazy, you know. I mean, 1.5 million damage. This guy's hitting like a feather. This Whis was pretty easy to take out. It wasn't until we got to this Golden Frieza. Okay, this guy was actually doing some crazy shit. 490 million HP. You know what I'm saying? 5 million super attack. Stuns you or seals your super 100% of the time. Better hope he didn't super in slot 1, because that would have been a game-ending run right there. Yeah, I mean, once he got into the range of like the 50% to 100, this guy had no cooldown. It was actually kind of crazy. Even his normals would still like do some damage to a lot of units. Like this Frieza, I'd probably say he was pretty hard. You know, although you could stun him, which didn't make the fight that difficult. Honestly, I didn't even know this guy could be stunned until later on in the fight. Maybe it's like you have to do a certain amount of damage before he could be stunned. But I mean, yeah, the fact that he could be stunned kind of diminishes his reputation a little bit. He lost attack and defense with each turn passed by 30%, which isn't much in retrospect. I mean, dude, 5 million damage super attack. Like, come on, bro. Like, no unit is gonna live that. If you're not having any crazy, like, you know, mechanics in their kit, like they're not living that super. Then yeah, he has a damage threshold when he's 50% or more HP, and then this guy crits when he's super. So 5.4 or 5 million damage super with a crit, like, bro, most units in the game are not living that. So that's what makes this guy pretty difficult. So if I were to rank this, where is he? If I were to rank this Frieza, I would say he's a pretty, I mean, at the time he was a hard fight. Remember, I'm doing these by the units we had at the time, not what we have now. Because a lot of the units that we have now can take on these fights pretty easy. But at the time when these fights dropped, like they were hard for sure. All right, so next I have the Universe 6 saga right here. This fight, I'm gonna be honest, like it was mad easy. I mean, yeah, sure we had 10th anniversary units, but still, like this fight was mad easy. Like I literally creamed everybody in this fight, bro. Like it wasn't even funny. Like I probably took Hit down. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I took him down on like one turn. I mean, yeah, we had Vegito out, so of course, but still, like this fight wasn't really anything crazy. Kaba right here had the most HP, 560 million, but he wasn't doing any crazy damage. I think also he had like a rage meter, so he built up, or once he built up that rage meter, then you went to the Super Saiyan Kaba, which is then, okay, his damage actually went up quite a bit. It shot up like 2 million. Yeah, this fight was dumb easy, bro. Like I said, I creamed this Hit. Literally bent him over the knee and disciplined him like a little child, bro. It wasn't even funny. If I were to rank this fight, where's he at? In my opinion, this fight was pretty fodder. I mean, for being late into the Vegeta story red zone, this fight was pretty fodder, I have to admit. All right, next we have the Future Trunks saga. So my thing with this fight, it wasn't too hard either. I mean, when you got to Goku Black Rose, he could actually piece you up if you weren't careful, because his super attack could do a lot of damage, and he's debuffing you at the same time. He didn't have too much HP, but it was just like, you know, you get caught with that super, it's pretty much donezo. I think a lot of people were thinking this was about to be a pretty hard fight because you had this boy on the poster right here, the Fusion Zamasu, and I know a lot of people have PTSD from the 2023 version. And yeah, everybody was expecting this to be like, you know, the Fusion Zamasu's second coming, you know. This guy, he was pretty difficult. I mean, there's not really anything you could do to like cheese him, so you just kind of had to like take those hits. But now we have better units. Like 2023 was one of those years where it's like almost every release, I probably say like 90% of the releases in 2023 were very undertuned and underpowered. So I think that's what made that Fusion Zamasu seem like a god amongst men. But this time around, like this guy, he was doable. Like he wasn't too frustrating. We have a lot of units now that are able to work around these mechanics. And he's not doing anything crazy either. He's doing the same thing he did in 2023. Just more HP, more damage, but we have better units this time around that can actually withstand all this. So with the Future Trunks saga fight, just because of that Goku Black, I'd say this fight was pretty hard. I mean, there's nothing you could really cheese with that fight, so you just got to take it. All right, and then next we have the Universal Survival Saga. Okay, so this was probably like one of the longer fights, I would say. When it came to Catapesra, this is when like the real like HP like started getting up there. He wasn't anything crazy. He could seal you, which would be annoying because of you know, any stacking units that we had, like that would hinder them greatly. He wasn't too crazy. You just had to make sure you didn't get supered. Now Topo, this guy's character locking was a huge problem. And this guy, he was actually a big jump from Catapesra to Topo in terms of damage, like a 4.6 million super. Like that's just unreal. Can't be stunned, can't be sealed. I'd say he's easy to deal with. This Topo, he was actually a pretty hard like boss. He was the gatekeeper to Jiren. This Jiren, the thing is with Jiren, besides from Topo, is that you could dodge Topo's attacks. This Jiren, like you can't dodge that. He disables evasion. The good thing is he could get his defense reduced by 50% after receiving 4 attacks, which, you know, you're gonna do that unless you just suck at the game. I don't know what to tell you. He does have a damage threshold. You can't stun, you can't seal, you can't debuff. His HP was pretty high. I think the reason why it wasn't as high was because the type of damage he was doing, like 5.7. He seals your super, and then more times than often, he is gonna super in the first slot. Like, he's gonna super before you get a chance to super. And with his level of damage, that's gonna fucking annihilate any character. Unless you're Super Vegeta or Super Gogeta during your first fusion turn, active skill popped, like no character is living that. So yeah, this Jiren, he was pretty tough, I will say that. When it comes to this fight right here, where's the boy? I'd probably say this fight was, whoops, this was some 10th anniversary power creep right here. I'll give it to Jiren, because, you know, he will snipe you, and if you're not prepared for that, you can't dodge, so you got to take the hit. You know, so you better hope there's a unit that could actually tank that or nullify it. All right, and then next on the list we have Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now, we got to talk about this fucking behemoth right here. This guy, he is the, in my opinion, I think he's the hardest red zone fight that we have to date. Dude, okay, first of all, look at this HP. That's 1.5 billion. 1.5 billion. Like, I'm not the only one that's seeing that, right? 1.5 billion HP. He raises his attack and defense for 1 turn, and he supers twice. This guy supers twice every turn. If you're unlucky, he'll super once before you get a chance to attack, and he'll super once after you get a chance to attack. Sometimes he'll super 2 times before you even get a chance to attack. And on top of that, you can't dodge him, so you have to take those hits. He has a damage threshold. You can't seal him, you can't stun him, you can't defensively debuff him, but you can attack debuff him. Which, in my experience, the attack debuffs don't really help, just because, like, look, he's getting 80% attack and defense. Like, any debuff, it's not really going to do much damage. And of course, he's only doing 1.3, but each turn he builds up to 50%, 10% attack, 5% attack with each super. Dude, like, this is easily getting, it's 100% attack and defense. It's 100% attack on top of a 1.3 million super, and then he's getting 80% attack on top of that. Like, dude, bro, this guy's a monster. And the fact that he has 1.5 million HP, bro, you know how long it takes to beat this fight? Like, you're easily 10 plus turns easy. Like, this Goku, he's no joke. I even have the clips too. Like, this is a hard fight. Like, I got sniped a couple of times, and some of these units that we have just can't. This guy's just doing too much damage for the units to keep up with. Like, this Goku sent me packing a couple of times. Like, I'm not even gonna hate on him. 7 threshold now. Perfect. This might hit hard. Ooh. Yeah, let's keep stacking that defense, baby. Ooh. It's a well-designed fight, in my opinion. Like, it's not hard. It's not too hard. It's just, you know, you just gotta Dokkan, you know, you gotta bring the best of the best. Play your strategies right. Hope your units do what they have to do. He's doable for sure. It's the HP that gets you, because it is a long fight. It's the HP and the amount of damage that you're doing just doesn't seem like you're doing much. Like, you got to chip away at him turn by turn, and it's gonna take a while. 1.5 billion HP. Like, you're not just gonna breeze through that in like 5 turns, you know. Like, it's gonna take a while. But yeah, it was a fun fight. It is a fun fight in my opinion, and this is definitely 10th anniversary power creep right here. Definitely this Goku, this guy, the one that stands above all, Super Saiyan Blue Goku. This guy was hard. This guy right here is the face of 10th anniversary power creep. I know I put Jiren up here too just because of what he's doing, but this guy, bro, you can't dodge him. You can't hide any units. Every unit is gonna have to take every hit from this guy turn by turn, and you better hope you don't get supered because it's curtains after that. But it was a fun fight, I will say that.